Welcome to this webinar about disability discrimination and reasonable adjustments. We are the SENDIASS service, which is Special Educational Needs and Disability Information, Advice and Support Service. So we provide information, advice and support to anyone aged 0 to 25 with special educational needs and disabilities and their parents or carers. We provide advice in 3 areas currently: Southampton, Portsmouth and West Berkshire, but each area has a SENDIASS service. So even though it might not be us that you get in contact with, there is support in every area of England. At the end of this webinar, I'll give some details on how to contact us. So firstly, what is disability discrimination? So what this means is that when someone is treated less well or put at a disadvantage for a reason relating to their disability. And we're going to talk about a document called the Equality Act. This is what outlines disability discrimination and what it is. And it's important to know that the discrimination doesn't have to be intentional to be unlawful. So what that means is an organisation, so a school or a workplace, they might have a policy that puts disabled people at an disadvantage. It might not have been their intention to do that when setting it out, but if it puts them at a disadvantage, then it could be disability discrimination nonetheless. This is a link to the Equality Act. It includes a definition of what disabled is, and it talks about the need to make reasonable adjustments. So, someone is disabled under the Equality Act if they have a physical or mental impairment that has a substantial and long-term negative effect on their ability to do normal daily activities. This slide gives you some examples of when disability discrimination might have occurred, and we've had scenarios similar to this on our helplines when we've been contacted by parents or by children and young people. So we're thinking about disability discrimination in the context of a school, a nursery or a college, but as I mentioned, the Equality Act does actually apply in situations wider than that. But here's some examples. It could be that a child's not allowed on a school trip because of their disability. There could be a strict uniform or behaviour policy which isn't adjusted for a disabled child. There could be a school exclusion that didn't properly consider a disability. And it could be that a child's not offered a place at a school or a nursery or a college due to their disability. Those are all examples of what might be disability discrimination. The Equality Act also talks about the need to make reasonable adjustments. So that is in a nursery or a school or a college, they should be taking positive steps to ensure that disabled pupils can fully participate in the education that they provide and that they can enjoy the benefits, facilities and services that the school or the nursery or the college provide for all pupils. This document that I've linked here is really useful to talk about what a reasonable adjustment might be for schools or indeed in a nursery or a college. It gives some real examples of what might be considered a reasonable adjustment to be made. So if you feel that disability discrimination may have occurred, I would advise getting in touch with us to discuss your options, but one option is to appeal to something called the SEND Tribunal. So the SEND Tribunal, which is the Special Educational Needs and Disability Tribunal, can hear claims about disability discrimination by a school under the Equality Act 2010. The claim must be received by the tribunal within 6 months of the discrimination that you're claiming about, or within 6 months of the most recent alleged act or omission if they've been continuing for a period of time. What I've linked there is the form that you would need to fill out if you wish to appeal to the SEND Tribunal. Again, I would say that if you're considering this, you can get advice and information from us on our helplines or by emailing us, and we could help with the form if needed. It's important to know that sometimes a claim's not necessary, and you might actually be able to resolve the matter that you're having with the school by talking to them about your concerns and that disability discrimination may have occurred or may be occurring. Thank you for listening to our short webinar. If you've got any questions, feel free to get in contact with us. I've listed there the contact information if you live in West Berkshire, Southampton or Portsmouth. But as I said at the beginning, all areas in England do have a SENDIASS service, and if you're unsure on your local one, then you can get in contact with us and we'll make sure we give you the correct details. Thank you for listening.